let's start with prayer. Heavenly Father, God, I thank you so much for this night. I thank you for these girls that are here, God. I thank you for our friends that drove all the way from Tennessee to be with us tonight, Lord, and just such a blessing to have them here with us, God. And I thank you for Shannon in Texas Skyping in, and for all of the girls that traveled here tonight, Lord. And I just pray that you would bless them for being here, God, that they would just feel your presence, that they would grow in relationship with you, in relationship with one another, and in their businesses, God, that you would just give them all that they need as they go from here tonight, Lord. And we just thank you so much for who you are, and we pray that we bring you glory tonight in all that we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, all right. Does anybody know what they did last month in the month of March?
Yes.
Y'all do? Because I didn't pull any of your numbers, so I'm just trusting you. Okay? So you have to use your brains. You have to use your brains. Okay. All right. Stand up if you love Premiere. Everybody in the room love Premiere. Yes, even you. Okay. All right. Keep standing if you did one home show last month in the month of March. Right? Good job, everybody. Okay. Keep standing if you did 2. Keep standing if you did 3. Ooh. Okay. Keep standing if you did 4. Yay. If you did 5. Y'all are awesome. Michelle, how many did you do? 6. She's getting all of her jewelry shows in before she has a baby on Saturday. Hopefully he comes on Saturday. I hope he comes while we're at jewel school. That would just be so fun. We can Skype in.
Jewel school baby.
Yeah.
Danielle's got the rally baby, so why not?
I know.
A jewel school baby. Okay. Way to go, Michelle. Okay. Stand up if your home shows, if you had at least one home show, that was $100. Y'all stand up and give yourselves a round of applause. Okay, stand up if your home show was 200 or more. 300, we're talking about your highest home show. No, just your highest home show. Single highest, if you had a show that was 400 or more. 5, 6, 7. Wow, girl. Okay, tell me what yours was. 1,700!
I was right at 1,000.
1,000! Woo! Way to go, girl! Shannon, sometimes I forget about you. Are you still up? You're still up?
Well, it depends. I didn't submit it in time, but I did it before the accounting period.
Well, it'll be in for April. You can stand up in April. Okay. Way to go, Dawn! That is so awesome. Okay. Like all of your retail, all combined. Okay. So y'all, I know sometimes it's hard to remember all of your numbers, but so all of your shows, all combined. If all of your shows combined were $500 or more, stand up. Woo! Okay. If all of your shows were 800 or more, keep standing. Okay. If all of your shows. Girl, why are you not still up? You had a 7.
Oh, was one.
Oh, your all was 1. But
Yeah, but
yeah, you still have $1,700. You can't win that and keep seated. Crazy girl. Okay. Okay. Keep standing if all of your retail was $1,700 or more. Yeah, girl. Okay. If it was 2,000 or more, keep standing. Woo! Okay, what did you have?
It was 4,000 something.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't move to the.
Oh, she's standing in the. It's fine.
Sorry.
Who watches these videos anyways? Anybody watch these videos? Just kidding. Okay. Okay. Did anybody sponsor last month in the month of March in this room? Yeah, girl. Woo-hoo! Okay, I'm gonna introduce April to you in just a second. Brand new jewelers. I don't think we have actually. I mean, technically, Brooke is a March jeweler, even though she was at training last month and we recognized her, but she really is a March jeweler. And we have somebody just checking us out. Well, we have 2 people that are, I mean, you're about to sign up, but 2 people that are sort of checking us out tonight. Will y'all just stand up and share your names?
I'd never have to stand in these shoes.
They're cute. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You can just turn
I'm
around.
Megan.
Hi, Megan. Megan's just checking us out. She's about to have a baby in 3 weeks. Yep. Wouldn't this be a great job for her? Yes. And Nicole, introduce yourself.
I'm Nicole.
And Nicole is supposed to sign up. She actually really is going to sign up in the next week or so, right? Yay! So she'll get to stand up next month for one of our main just want to introduce to you two people that y'all have not ever met before. This is April Roberts. Can y'all say hey to April? And she'll tell us a little bit more about herself in a little bit, but she is actually my sister in Premier. She is also underneath Lacey and used to live in Mariana and just recently moved to Tennessee. And she's going to be sharing with us tonight. So she's got some great training material to give to us. And we're so excited to have her. And then Tina Ray slunking down back here in the corner. Tina Ray is one of my first level jewelers from Gainesville, but most recently just moved to Tennessee as well. So they carpooled down together so they could be here with us tonight, and we're so excited. Yay! I think Tina was like my, fifth person I ever signed up, maybe.
It was before you were a designer.
Wow.
Yeah. I think she was like the fifth person. I think I had just become a builder, and then you signed up like right after that.
Am I your oldest child now? Or is it...
Yeah. So proud of you, girl. So proud. Okay. We also have somebody in the room that has completed all 12 for the Quick Start Challenge. Can y'all guess who that might be?
Michelle.
Michelle. And I gave her a gift last month. I should have brought you another gift this month, but I'm so proud of you, girl. Okay, let's quickly catch up in our calendar. So y'all, who brought their calendar? Yeah, I forgot to bring a gift tonight, so I would be giving you tickets.
I got a gift.
You got a gift?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm giving tickets out away. You finding something in my...
You want me to announce the gift now?
Ooh, no, suspense. Suspense. All right, if you brought your calendar, I'm giving you a ticket. Anybody else bring their calendar?
I got everything up there.
Girl. I know, Shannon, you're gonna win one of these days. I threw a ticket down for you. It's on there. Okay, we'll get tickets to everybody else too. Okay, all right, calendar catch up. Who can tell me? This is so easy. What do we do on the first Monday of the month? Yes, Shannon.
Shannon.
Way to go, girl. Okay, what do we do on the second Monday of the month?
A show.
Do a jewelry show, Linda. Way to go. What do we do on the third Monday of the month?
Training.
Yes. We're all here. And what do we do on the fourth Monday of the month?
Fun to share.
Fun to share. Okay, which is next week. So, who else said that? Anybody? Okay. Who's coming to Fun to Share?
Me.
Woo! Right. We're going to 2 people already coming with her. Can you beat that?
No, I only have one right now. Okay.
I'm doing a Fun to Share.
Yes. Woo-hoo. Good job, bro. You have 2?
Well, I need y'all help me.
Whatever. I didn't mean to throw that at you, girl. Okay. All right. So y'all all be at Fun to Share. Okay. Other important things that we have going on that I want to make sure you know about. Obviously, we have Jewel School this weekend, okay, which Brooke and Jonathan are coming down to Jewel School. They get extra tickets for that. Yes. Woo! Okay.
Dawn is.
Dawn and I are chatting afterwards.
Oh,
Okay. It's okay. I won't be mad at you. Try not to be. No, I'm just okay. And Michelle is obviously having a baby, so we'll be really praying for a baby on this Saturday. Hopefully. Okay, other things that I want y'all to know about. There's this day of leadership going on, not this weekend, but the following weekend on May the 3rd. And it's for anybody that has sponsored 2 people or more. Really ever. They've kind of opened it up so that if you've ever sponsored 2 or more, you can come to this day of leadership. So we'd love to have you, but most importantly, the Friday before May the 2nd at 7 p.m. they're going to do an OP downtown at the Sheraton. So it's going to be a really neat thing. They're going to have the boutique in a box set up, which we kind of have set up here, but they're going to have that set up at the OP. They're also going to give every single person that comes a free bracelet. So you and your guest, however many you can bring, will get a free bracelet. And they're going to put every single new jeweler that signs up that night into a drawing to receive $500 in free jewelry. So it's a really great thing to come to. So if you want to come and just sign up that night, you could be put into a drawing to get $500. You too. Free jewelry. And so it'll be a really, really neat thing to do. So I really encourage you to grab a buddy and bring them on out to that OP. I think it'll be really great to hear somebody else do an OP too, even just for learning. So if you feel like, hey, I would just love to hear somebody else do an OP. I feel like I haven't done enough OPs to really know how to do one for somebody else. Come to it. Even if you don't have anybody to bring with you, you could still come to the OP. It's not like Fun to Share where you have to have a guest. So, you may even just want to come and just listen in and just hear how somebody else shares their business. It's May the 2nd, Friday night at 7 p.m. It's at the Sheridan, right? Sheridan, downtown. Same place we had Regional Rally.
If you want to see the jewelry, 6:30 though.
Yeah, if you want to see all the jewelry, you can kind of peruse that. That'll be all set up, and at 6:30 you can go check all that out. Okay. Anybody in our group that comes, actually, I think we're gonna try to do some sort of like dessert or dinner after it's over. It's only for an hour, so it's a real quick. You won't be there all night long. But should you want to like grab coffee or dessert after, we're all going to go do something like that. So put that on your calendar. I think that'll be a really great thing. And then National Rally, y'all all got that email about how it's new to you guys anyways because most of you are so new in here. But Rally it's in July 10th through the 12th. And it's actually going to start on Thursday at 2 o'clock. It used to start on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. And now it's going to start at 2 o'clock. And they really did that for the working people so that you only have to take off Thursday and Friday. So you can fly in on Thursday, get to your hotel room, drop off your stuff, and then get to the conference center for a 2 o'clock start time. So I think that's really going to be helpful. I'm excited about that. And then it will end at 4 o'clock on Saturday. So as you're planning your flights in and out, you'll just want to make sure that you can stay until 4 on Saturday. They give away a car at the very end. So you don't want to miss that should you be the winner of the cooking car, okay? So we typically fly out like at 6:30 so we have enough time to stay and then get there. Okay? Then Haven of Hope is the last thing I want you to have on your calendars, and that's October 9th through the 12th. And again, you have to sponsor at least 2 people in that time, up until August, and hold 18 home shows, which you can absolutely do. If you have any more questions about that, just ask, because I would love to see a lot of you there. Okay? Any questions about your calendar? You'll have all of that on your calendar?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you're not going to miss it ever, right? You're not missing anything. Okay. The other thing I just want to share with you real quick before we start into training is the Boutique in the Box. I've kind of set it up in the back. I'm missing 4 pieces out of the Boutique in the Box. So there's a couple pieces that I just sort of put something similar in the place, but there is a picture of it sitting out on the table so you can get a gist of it. I think it's a really great concept. I think it's really going to help new jewelers have everything that they need. Yes, it's not a 70-piece set like they used to get, before, or the 40 pieces, but they're getting a lot more with it. They're getting 3 necklace stands, they're getting 5 trays, they're getting a bracelet bar, and they're getting a tablecloth. So they're really getting everything they need to just go and set up their table and not have to worry. So I think that that's a really great thing that you can talk up to people, and it's less than $900. So I think as a price point, that's going to help people out, versus thinking like, oh, I need to spend $1,200 to start in Premier. It's less than $900. They can still put it on the card and get 6 months at free interest to pay it back. And they can also purchase additional pieces of jewelry at 65% off should they want something extra as well. They have to do it at the same time, though. They can't decide like 3 weeks later they want to get it at that extra discount. They have to decide then, okay? Do y'all have any questions about Boutique in a Box? Okay, talk it up. I think it's a really great thing. I'm really excited about it. Okay, all right. Let me see if I can find my agenda. Dave? Anybody know where my agenda is? No? Maybe? Yes? Okay. All right. Okay, we are going to, okay, good. Okay, I didn't tell any of you this, so I hope you have some people on your phone. I want you to take 10 minutes and either to call or text. Hey, Beth! How are you doing, girl? She's always looking so cute. So glad you're here. Hey, girl. So cute. Okay, I want you to take just 10 minutes. I didn't tell any of you about this, so you may not be prepared. If you are totally like a new jeweler, this is great because you can start like trying to book shows for after you start in Quick Start. If you're still thinking about it, you can actually just write a list of people who you think like might have a jewelry show for you call and ask them, hey, if I did this thing called Premiere, would you have a jewelry show for me? And that will kind of help you know, like, oh, I should do this because I already have 6 people that said they would have a jewelry show. So I really should sign up because I already made my money back. And I really want to encourage you to, I know like I'm always real big on you got to make a phone call and not text, but we live in this crazy world now where people are obsessed with texting. And sometimes you can text people and get a jewelry show. So I'm going to give you 10 minutes to call or text anybody that might want to possibly have a jewelry show. If you can't think of anybody, because I didn't give you any time to prep this and you don't have a list, obviously, you may have some old customers that are in your phone that you just want to check in on their jewelry, and maybe they might want to have a show as well, okay? So, I'm going to give you, can you give me a timer for 10 minutes? And I know I kind of cheated because I knew that I was going to make y'all do this, so I brought some people to call.
You really did this for you.
Really did this for me. Okay, okay, so, and if you don't have, y'all all have people to call, right? Y'all have people to call or text? Yes?
Yes.
Everybody does. If you don't, scroll through your phone, or who has the Facebook app on their phone? Anybody?
Yes.
Get on Facebook, send some personal messages, okay? So you've got 10 minutes. Shannon, you got it? You are a good girl. Okay, time starts now.
Yeah.
Okay, how did it go? Okay, did anybody get a booking on their calendar?
Then I haven't.
Nobody? Did you? I got 2. Wow!
She had prepared. Let's just be
did.
honest.
Yeah.
She had prepared for that.
Sorry.
Kind of had a head start.
Give yourself
No
a
ticket for you.
ticket, honey.
No ticket for me.
What if we texted back?
Yes, okay, listen, so if you send out text messages and anybody texts you back while you're at training, you have to like stop whoever's talking and you get to jump up and shout up and down that you got a booking on your calendar. Okay? I'll celebrate and get you an extra ticket. That's okay? What? Yeah, great. So proud of you. Okay. So yeah, sorry I gave you no notice for that, but sometimes it's fun to have no notice and just to get thrown into having to make phone calls, right? Yes, I think so. Okay, all right. Without any further ado, we're going to hear from a great girl named April Roberts who has restarted her business multiple times, okay? And she has most recently moved, but I think what she's really going to share with you is how when you haven't moved and yet you still don't have any jewelry shows. Because you've either let your calendar become bare, you just haven't followed up with people, or you've gone from having a lot of shows on your calendar to now you don't know what in the world am I going to do. I call this again that I've already called before, and so what do you do now? And so April's going to share with us how she's done that a couple of times in her business, and it's been great for her. And I'm going to be taking notes. So, oh, we forgot to bring notes, babe. Man, we're out of sorts today. We'll get you some paper if you need some notes. Anybody need any paper for notes? Okay, all right, we'll get you some note paper. And April, come on up. Y'all give her a big round of applause. All right, we're getting notes for people.
First, I want to read my absolute favorite scripture, and this is what I have lived my life by, especially in Premiere. But this was one of, when I not switched religions, but when I accepted the Holy Spirit into my life, this was one of the first scriptures that I felt like that the Lord gave me personally as something that I could live by. And it's Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. And what that scripture says is, as long as you don't give up, you're going to prosper. I started Premiere in February of 2012, so I'm in my 3rd year now. And I'm kind of glad that Danielle did the little booking thing, because I've got I just kind of felt like this is kind of has to do with rebuilding your business, but I was just looking through some different notes last night as I was preparing, and I come across a couple of things, and I felt like, you know, the Lord wanted me to share this. What is the main thing that keeps your business going? Bookings. So, yes, home shows. And as a home-based business and direct sales company, you have to have bookings on your calendar. You have to have those home shows to keep your business going. So from those home shows, you hope to book more home shows. And from those home shows, you hope to book more home shows. So just a couple of things, how to, and this is something from Gayla Unger from, I think 2 years ago at Rally. And you got to go to Rally. If you just make it happen, it only takes 3 to 4 home shows profit to get you to Rally, and that's your airfare, your food, your hotel, and it's so well worth the trip. You get to spend it with all your Rockstar family, and let me tell you, there's other people in Premier that are jealous of us Rockstars. So you have a great Premier family, I'll just tell you. She did, and Gayla had a thing where you do take 10 days to schedule 10 new home shows. And then you can kind of just, you know, if you want to make 2 phone calls a day, if you want to make 5 phone calls a day, if you want to do 10 phone calls a day, it's just up to you. Just cater it to your need. If you're a stay-at-home mom and you've got 3 kids running around the house, you may not be able to do but maybe 2 phone calls because you've got your kids, you've got your home to take care of. And if you work an 8 to 5 job, you may only be able to do, you know, 5 calls a week. So you make those 5 calls a week. And this is like a 5-day a week business. This is not like 7 days a week. You don't have to do that. But take those 10 days, and she called it a cluster booking. And ladies who call, and these are the ladies that you need to call. Call the ladies that have done a show for you in the past, and then call ladies who have postponed. Someone that has booked a show, and who I have had these ladies that have rescheduled 6 times and they still have not held their home show. It's frustrating, yes, but it's just life. It happens, so just kind of get used to it. But the main thing about getting bookings on your calendar to keep your business going is bring every person at that home show to a point of decision. And when you ask every lady that's there, and don't say, do you want to book a show? That's Premier words. We don't want to use Premier words with people that are not in Premier. You know, ask them, hey, Natalie, how would you like to have a fun girls' night out? Who can say no to that? You know, say, how would you like, can you get a couple of girlfriends together, and can you do a girls' night out, you know, next Thursday, or in 2 weeks from tomorrow, or something like that. And they're more apt to not say no to a fun girls' night out, versus, do you want to book a home show? I mean, like, no. Do you want to have a fun girls' night out? Sure. Who doesn't? You know, so you have to kind of watch the way that you word things sometimes, especially nowadays, because you want it to be fun, and you have your, when you book your let's see. Yeah.
You should jump up and down.
I'm not gonna jump up. And you want to market yourself as the jewelry lady, and I've got like notes in 3 different places because I didn't have time to. Yes. Here we go. Where's some of this? Let me catch up myself up here. Okay, and then when you ask them, do you want to have a fun girls' night out? You have to narrow it down for them, because a lot of times they just don't know. So you got to kind of help them get to that point of decision of saying yes. So whenever you're at checkout and you calculate their order, they're writing out their check, or they're digging through their purse for their credit card or their cash, you have your calendar ready and open. So what you want to do is you don't want to show them this, a blank calendar, because that's like, I don't know, what, I don't know. I mean, they just have that feeling, it's overwhelming. You're showing them 31 days that they can pick from. That's too much. Too much, like TMI, too much information for them to take in about a 5-minute time period. So you want to show them a calendar like this. And what these are the dates, the little silver things. These are the scratch offs that I got from either the incentives or something off Premiere. I can't remember where I got them from. You get like 100 for $2. They're very inexpensive. And all you have, like I want to do between 5 and 7 home shows a month. So I picked my days that I want to do home shows. I have church on Tuesday nights, so that's why my Tuesdays are marked out. I'm going to church every Tuesday. So I have 2 Mondays, I have 4 Thursdays, and I have 1 Friday. And if they decide that they would like to do a Saturday, then I'll pencil that Saturday in. But these are my preferred dates. Okay, do you like to do weekends, or would you rather do a Monday through Friday? Which one works better for your schedule? And then you kind of help them narrow down, well, probably during the week would be better. And then, okay, would Monday or Thursday work better for you? Do you have anything going on Monday nights? No, I think Monday will work. So, well, I have the 12th open and I have the 19th. Which one would you prefer? And so you're narrowing it down from, weekdays or weekends. And when you show them specifics, then you tell them, okay, I'm going to pencil you in here on the 12th. So when you get home, look over your calendar if they don't have their calendar. I give tickets if they bring their calendar to my show. I give them an extra ticket to go into the grand prize drawing. So when you narrow down their date and say, okay, I'm going to call you in 2 days. I'll give you 48 hours. You go home, check your schedule, make sure that date works for you. If it doesn't work, then you shoot me back another date or two, and then we'll change it. You can still keep that $50 booking bonus. So, but these underneath these, the closer dates in the month, I have $25 extra in free jewelry on top of their hostess benefits, and then towards the end of the month, they get free shipping on their hostess order. So, and you can do anything that you want to do. If you really need bookings, then you do $50 in free jewelry. It only costs you $25 because you only have to pay for the half price. Or if free shipping costs you $4. That $4 could lead you to having $1,000 show or a $1,700 show. Way to go! That was great. I need one of those. But you can put anything that you want under it. Then they pick their date and they just take their have your penny or your quarter and they scratch it off and they get to see their prize that they get at their home show. So you want to give them their free prize at their home show. Okay.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I learned that when I went to training in Tennessee. My first training I did last month, because there's one girl that and I'm friends with her on Facebook, but I had never met her till last month. And I asked her, I said, how, because she's always in the Southeast and top retail, and she lives in a smaller town than I just moved to in Cleveland. And I was like, okay, Lord, if she can do, every month for like the past 4 months, she's $6,000-$7,000 retail. And so I asked her, I said, how do you do that? She said, well, I don't run a special. I do like 30% off a pair of earrings, and that's it. And I'm like, really? That's all you do? And she said, and I said, well, how do you get so many bookings? She said, I think the key is having so many bookings, because she does like 10 to 14 shows a month. She's a stay-at-home mom, so she has that extra time that that she can maybe devote that someone that works a full-time job may not have. But you have to cater, and that's the beauty of Premiere, and that's what I tell all my prospects. You can cater Premiere to what you need. I need to do 5 to 7 shows a month, and so I want to schedule like 9 or 10, because you probably are going to have 2 or 3 that are not going to hold. So you want to have that little bit of a buffer. So you generally want to schedule 2 to 3 extra shows, and if they all hold, then great, you've got a really good month on your calendar. And another thing is about Premiere is you are the CEO of your own company. So it's you make your schedule. You're not making money for Joe Blow that's sitting up in the office making millions of dollars, and you're not making anything. So you can schedule, open your calendar up to, if you want to do 10 shows, mark those days out on your calendar that you want. And you may have to to cater it to your hostess every now and then. If they just want that Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, they have to have that. Then if you want that booking, then you're going to give them that Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock if you really don't want to do a Sunday afternoon. But if you don't want to do it, just tell them I don't do Sunday afternoons. I'm sorry. We'll have to find another date that works for the both of us. So you just kind of, you're the CEO, so if you don't want to work a Sunday, don't work a Sunday. If you don't want to work Mondays, don't work Mondays. I don't want to work Tuesdays because I have church on Tuesdays and I love my church. So we're going, that's, all my Tuesday nights are blocked out. I might do 1 Tuesday a month if they ask, but I'm not just going to throw that out and offer that there. And another thing at your show, and I have a really funny story. I was telling Tina today at lunch. I went to a combination party of beauty control, which is makeup, creams, that kind of thing, and Scentsy, back in November of 2012. And I go to my friend's house, and I just really needed a girls' night myself. I'd been doing Premiere. My business had kind of slowed down. So I just wore my buckle-up bracelet, my buckle-up ring, some real eye-catching pieces. I wasn't going to drum up business, don't get me wrong. But I just thought, well, if they ask, I'll tell them. If not, okay. I'll just have a good, fun night. So I get there, and I'm looking around at all the ladies, and I'm like, who's the consultant? Who's the one, the lady? I couldn't find her. And so finally, I look across the room, and there's a lady that has on a real blingy lapel with her name tag. She had on a hoodie and jeans. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And that was a major turnoff for me because she didn't look the part. So as a jewelry lady, you want to always look the part. Even if you have on no makeup, throw on a pair of big earrings when you're going to do your grocery shopping. Because there may be that one person that's walking past that, oh, I love your earrings. Where did you get those? How can I get a pair of those? And I've actually, let me tell you, last summer I booked. I was in a nail salon, and it was right after Rally. All the new stuff come out. I had on the On the Move bracelet, the Starlet, or the On the Move watch, the Starlet bracelet, True Blue and Gemma, and getting a pedicure. And an elderly lady sitting next to me, and she said, "Oh, I just love your watch. Where did you get that? Is that Premiere just like that? Bam, bam, bam." And I said, "Well, yes, ma'am, it is." And she said, "Well, I used to do premiere parties a long time ago, and my eyes get real big." And I'm like, "Really?" And she said, "But yeah, I don't know anybody that does it anymore." And I'm like, "Well, now you do." And so we just kind of talked, and I had set up at that nail salon. I had my sample sale at the end of July. Make a long story short, she called me 2 days later. I had given her a catalog with my information. Make sure you put your information on the back. Print those little labels that you can buy at Walmart. Your name, your phone number, your email, whatever. She called me 2 days later. She said, "Hey," and she knew I was going out of town because we were sitting there a while. She said, "I want to get on your calendar before you leave town." She said, I don't want somebody to take the date I want." And I'm like, "Okay, well, great." And so I wrote her name down in my calendar, and she said, "Can I get some more books from you?" And I'm like, "Well," I said, it was 1:30. I was leaving town at 4 o'clock that day. So I'm like, "Well, let me do this." I said, "Give me your address, and I will throw you a quick packet together and toss it in the mailbox on my way out of town," because I drove right by the mailbox. So I printed off her 15 invitations, popped those in the mail because I keep it saved, so all I got to do is change her name, date, time, place, and we're good. And so I popped that in the mail. That show was, she did a U&2, which ended up being a U&10. She brought 10 of her friends from her exercise class at 11:30 during the day. That show closed out at over $1,300 in sales.
Awesome.
And she rebooked for November of last year. I got 2 other bookings. Both of those bookings were $1,000 shows. And in November, she rebooked again, same lady, for January. So August, November, and January, this lady. And she wanted to get in because January we had the 50% bonus in January. And we had, in Marianna, I was in Florida, the one time we had an ice storm. I have 3 shows scheduled that week. I lost 2 of them, but that woman was determined. She wanted that 50% bonus. So she kept her show because she wanted 50% worth of jewelry. And she said, "Now, how much do I have to have in sales?" I said, "Well, at least $500 if you want 50%. Her show was over $800. And so she got $400 in free jewelry. She keeps it and she'll buy 2 or 3 of stuff. And she forks out $300 or $400 of her own money. And because she always gets all 8 of her half price items every show she's done. She wants me to come back down there in May and do another show for her. And I'm like, "I will be glad to drive to 6 hours to come do a show for you." So you just, and that was definitely a God connection for me because right before that, the week before her show held, I lost my cleaning job. I had been cleaning at this business for 5 years, and I was cleaning on a Wednesday night, and they come and say, hey, did you talk to so-and-so? And I'm like, no. And so he said, well, we're going to start doing our cleaning ourselves come September 1st. And I'm like, oh, really? He said, yeah, but we still want you to do the summer cleaning, because they had summer camp, and so I would go in and clean the whole campus over a weekend. I had some other girls that helped me. So I'm vacuuming, and I'm like, oh, God. I mean, it wasn't much money, but that was $400 a month that I knew I was going to be getting. With home shows, you just don't know what you're going to get. And so I was praying as I was running the vacuum cleaner, and I said, okay, Lord, what am I going to do? I needed this $400. That's our gas and groceries. You know, that's what that did. That was gas and groceries. And right away the Lord said, well, how many jewelry shows did you do this week? And I had done one Monday and one Tuesday. How much money did you make? You know, that's the kind of conversation I have with the Lord. I don't know about you guys, but I just talk, we talk like we're brother and sister. And he said, well, how much money did you make? And so I was calculating. I was like, oh, it's about $400. So you just need 2 extra home shows a month to make up for that $400. And I'm like, yes, thank you, Lord. That very next week was that lady's first show, and it was over $1,300. So God was making a statement to me. I'm going to take care of you, and trust in me. And that scripture, be ye not weary in well-doing, for in due season you shall reap. Shall is a must. It's not maybe, or you might, but it's you will reap. If you faint not, if you don't give up. So that brings me to, and there's misspelled words, so just kind of overlook that. Just take one and pass it around. I didn't have time to proofread it. I just printed it off. Let's see. And while you're passing that, I've got my first year in at Rally. Nick Vujicic was the guest speaker. And he's a man, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he has no arms. He was born with no arms and no legs. He has a little chicken foot, he calls it. But he was so encouraging. Despite his incapabilities, he's like a motivational speaker. He travels all over the world. He actually got married. He's got a son. And doing very well. But just some things. Don't be afraid, because fear is false evidence appearing real. So when you have fear, and of course you know that fear doesn't come from the Lord, it comes from the devil. And faith is the full assurance in the heart of knowing you know the truth in your value, you know the truth in your purpose, and you know the truth in your destiny. You need to have an attitude of gratitude. Encouragement takes you closer to your goal, and discouragement takes you farther away. Strength will override any fear, so you must always have courage. When you don't get a miracle, you can be a miracle for someone else. So if you have that goal that you have in Premier, or that life goal that you didn't quite meet, or didn't quite happen in a time frame that you wanted it to meet. For example, I moved. My husband and I and our 2 kids, we were in Mariana. We had felt the Lord taking us back to Tennessee, our home state, and didn't have a house, didn't have jobs except Premier. You can do anywhere. But we stepped out in faith, because we knew that was the time that the Lord had told us to go. So we had just gotten our income tax check. So we lived off of our income tax money for 2 months. Because my husband lost his job in Florida January. So he was off the whole month of February and March. And just waiting and praying, seeking the Lord and what to do for jobs. And I had lined up 4 home shows in Tennessee, because I had family there, I had friends, and I just said, hey, I'm moving back, can you help me get my business going in Tennessee by holding, doing a show for me? And they all know I'm Premier, so I can talk to them like that. But, new people at shows, you don't need to use the Premier words, like do a show. So, we just trusted in the Lord, and then my husband did not get a job until March the 26th of this year in Tennessee. And I had done 4 home shows. I didn't get any bookings from those. And actually one of them turned into a training show. So I got a new jeweler within a month of moving to Tennessee. And and it was a good retail show too. It was like $650. And I'm like, okay, Lord, okay. Because I just knew, I've known for a long time that once I got to Tennessee, the Lord was really going to bless my business as far as sponsoring new jewelers. Because that was the only area that I really struggled in. I could get bookings on my calendar. I've restarted my business a couple of times, and I knew how to. I've done literally over 50 OPs, and I've signed 3 people. And the statistics of that is I should have signed like 10 already, but it's okay because and then this is something that my pastor put on Facebook today. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Everybody has a different walk, and he was relating that to ministry, but that so much applies to Premier. You can't compare if you're just starting, like you're getting ready to sign up. Don't compare your first month to Michelle right now, because Michelle's been in for a while. You've got to walk your own walk with Premier. There's people that have different paces. Some people, they only need $300 a month. Some people need $2,000 a month. So you can't compare your walk with someone else's when they're in chapter 20 of their life and you're only on chapter 1 or chapter 2. So you walk your walk and keep it in the hands of the Lord. You don't know what you can achieve until you try. So, and we sometimes put limits on ourselves. When you fail, try again. Don't give up. You need courage. Failure brings education. When you fall down, just get up and learn from what you missed. You tripped over that rock, and you know that rock is going to be in that same exact place. Next time, just walk around it. Don't step over it and trip again. Just you may have to take a little side road or take a little bit of a detour to get where you're going to go. But if you're walking with the Lord and staying on path with the Lord, that's the only way that I know you can go 100 miles in the wrong direction and still end up on the right road is when you're walking with the Lord. I've done it many times. Obstacles equals opportunity. So when you come to an obstacle, it's just an opportunity for something bigger, something better, something more. Never give up and dream big. Even the most broken pieces can turn into something beautiful and magnificent. And I'm going to read this really quick. This was something, I have a friend that he does like he calls it moment by moment every month. And this one it's about jewelry, because jewelry's in the Bible. Okay, it says, I heard a preacher tell this story recently and decided that it must be shared. Once there was a little girl who adored jewelry. She spent her childhood playing dress-up with her fake gems. While shopping with her mom, she spotted a pearl necklace hanging in the window. The white beads seemed to glow alluringly. Next to the necklace dangled the price tag of $4.99. She saved her money for months until finally she was able to purchase the pearls with the money in her piggy bank. She proudly told her father, I did it, Daddy, I did it. I bought the pearls, she exclaimed. That night, as her father tucked her into bed, he asked, Honey, do you love me? Of course I love you, Daddy, his daughter replied. Do you love me enough to give me your pearl necklace? Horrified, she burst into tears. Daddy, I love you, but I can't give you my pearl necklace. Her father leaned down and kissed her and told her that it was okay. Each night for 1 week, the father and daughter had the same conversation. Each night, after the tearful reaction, her father kissed her just the same. Finally, on Sunday night, the father heard her crying sometime after he had tucked her in. He opened the door to her bedroom and sat down on the bed. Daddy, she sighed through her tears, I love you. You can have my pearl necklace. She pulled the same velvet pouch from her pillow, placing it in her father's hands. Now it was his eyes that filled with tears as he hugged her tightly. He thanked her and walked out of her room. The next morning when the girl awoke, she felt something under her pillow. Almost forgetting that she had given away her precious necklace, she reached for the velvet pouch, but found something more sturdy. She pulled out a small blue box and placed it in her lap. Slowly she opened it and gasped with surprise. Inside was a genuine pearl necklace. On the clasp, an inscription read, Daddy loves you. Are you like this little girl? Are you holding on to something you think is precious while your father in heaven has much greater things in store for
That's
you.
awesome.
My husband started his job March the 26th. And 2 weeks after he started, several people started talking to him about promoting him to foreman. He's working in a construction company. And we have left everything and by the way, in Florida we had a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. All of our stuff's in storage, except for our basic necessities. I still have all my winter clothes. I had to go shopping to buy like a short sleeve shirt to come a little further south. We just left, prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about a house. We looked at like 20 houses. Not the right one. And he had to be on his job for 30 days before we could even, qualify for a loan. And so, 2 weeks after he started, they were talking about promoting him to foreman. So today, I just called my husband and said, hey, we made it, and, just chit-chat a little bit. He said, well, I didn't get to tell you, but today, one of the, he's like a supervisor or something. He said, so you're next in line to get a white hat, huh? And he said, and I said, what's a white hat? He said, well, because they have to wear their hard hats. Everybody has a brown hard hat except for foremen's, and they get a white hat. And so he, let me backtrack just a little bit. We found a house that we loved, and the price was just a little bit too high. So we made an offer last Monday, and the guy comes back and it says, don't counter offer, this is my bottom line, I'll do this, this, and this is bottom dollar. So talked to my husband, called the realtor called the next day, and I said, well, if that's his bottom dollar, I said, we just can't do that. I said, I feel like that's the house for us right now, but if it doesn't work out, then, I said, just tell him we'll just have to pass. 20 minutes later, she called back. He dropped it. He dropped it down a couple more $1,000s, which was our top line. I knew by the Spirit of the Lord what his bottom line was, and his bottom was as much as we could go. And called back and said that and in the meantime, there had been 2 other couples that had looked at the same house. It's in a great area, great neighborhood, no crime in the area, just outside the city, but close enough to be, you can be in the city. And, but the only thing that had kept us from actually writing the contract for the house was the amount of the house was just, the house payment was going to be a little bit out of our comfort zone. And so I hung up with the mortgage lady, and I said, okay, Lord, I really feel like this is the house, but I'm just not comfortable with that payment. And the Lord told me, like I said, I talked to him like he's my brother. He said, step out on faith and do it, and I'll meet you. Well, today, so I called my realtor, and I said, okay, write up a contract. We're good. Today, he had, there were one of the couples that looked at the house before was going to make a cash offer today for the house, but they couldn't because we did a contract on it Friday. And today, when I talked to my husband, they told him that he's next in line to be promoted to foreman, so that could happen like any time. So it's when God does things for me to make a statement or to make it real, he does it big. And this will be our first home purchase. We've always been blessed. My husband and I've been married almost 10 years, and we've only paid rent for 9 months out of that whole 10 years. So we've been very blessed in never having to buy a home. He's always worked in a place where we live for rent free and didn't have to pay that, which is a big blessing. And but he'll I'd say by the end of this week he'll be promoted to foreman. So that'll be like $5 extra, in pay increase, which will be a couple of $100 extra a week he's going to be bringing home, which will more than cover what we needed to cover for our mortgage. So if you, again, that scripture, don't give up. If you're walking the right path with the Lord, then he's going to keep, he's going to take care of you. He's going to cover you, but you just have to put all of your faith and all of your trust in him. Okay, now your little paper. And I'm kind of going back and forth, but
I'm going to give you 10 minutes.
okay. I'll read really fast. Okay. The first thing that you have to do is fight for your business. First, give your business to the Lord. That's first and foremost. You have to give. You have to do what you have to do, but you have to give it over. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you have to do, and then leave everything else in the hands of the Lord. Ignore negativity. It's not from the Lord. You may have some people in your life that are just like, no, you don't need to do this premier thing. It's a pyramid thing, which it's not. So just ignore not the people, but the negativity that may come from the people. Have guts. Just go for it. You have nothing to lose. Nothing to it but to do it, as Miss Lacey Basker says. Hostess coaching is a must, and that is really what turned my business around last year. Is I started hostess coaching with every one of my hostesses, and take charge of your business and make no excuses. Just do it. Okay, 10 things that will help you. Pray over everything, your family, church, hostesses, shows, phone calls, OP meetings, your downline if you have one. Just pray over everything. It's just a good baseline. Set goals for yourself. You have to know what you're working towards to know what you need to do. Your goals should be SMART. They should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. And an example of those, which these are my goals. Specific is I want to be builder by Rally, which that's me signing 2 more jewelers. Measurable, you want to give your specific goal a time frame. So mine is 2 months because Rally is in. I've got the rest of April, May, and June to sponsor 2 more people, and make it achievable. Don't overreach. You don't want to say I want to be designer next weekend because it's probably not going to happen, and you're going to be very disappointed. So make it. Don't set a goal that you're really not ever going to reach in that short a period of time. Give yourself time to reach these goals. Make the relevance is it has to make sense. If you're just now starting with Premier, you don't want to say I want to be a 2-diamond designer in 1 year. Yeah, it's possible, but it may not happen. You're going to have to really work to get to 2-diamond designer in a year. And you time-based, you want to do it in a timely manner. And me sponsoring 2 more people within 2 more months, that is a timely manner. Okay, and number 3, and literally last year when I was struggling in my business, I read this book, and this all comes in your kit, so you all have this book. By chance or by design, this is pretty much how Premier began. Andy Horner wrote the book. He's the founder of our company, and he starts back from his childhood and then just progresses. It's an easy read. It's kind of like a novel. It's very, very good, and it literally changed my business because I learned, and I've been to Rally every year since I started, and this literally changed my business because I got it when I read that one line in the book when Andy says the Lord woke him up in prayer one night. And he didn't want to start Premier. He was done with direct sales. He had made all his money. He didn't care to make any more money. He wanted to retire. He wanted to rest. But the Lord woke him up and he said, okay, Lord, I can't do this by myself or within myself. And the Lord told Andy, I've been waiting 40 years for you to tell me that. I threw the book down. I started bawling, sitting on my couch, and I'm like, I hear you, Lord, I hear you. And right then, I repented for trying to make things happen myself, and I finished it. I still like 2 chapters from a year ago. But this literally, but I read this at the right time. So you pick it up when you feel led to pick it up, and that's when it's going to make a difference in your life. And just to give you a little bit of a background, my first year in Premier, I did 34 home shows, and I sponsored 1 new jeweler. And my second year in Premier, I did 50 home shows, which last year was my full second year. I had December of 2012 and January of 2013, I had nothing on my calendar. In March of last year was when I read that book, and then that's when I was like, okay, I get it. I can't make things happen. I was doing everything that I needed to do in the physical and in the natural, but I was trying to make it happen, and you can't try to make things happen. And I was comparing myself to someone else's chapter 20 when I was in chapter 2. So you have to just take it at your own pace, set your goals, have your vision board visible so you can see it. And then in most of my 50 home shows that I did last year was done from July to December of last year. And then I had a good January booked up, and then I've moved. So I'm having to do all of this stuff over again for like the third time. So it works, but sometimes it just takes time. And number 4, consult with your upline. They all want you to be successful, and they can help you get there. Don't be afraid to bother your mama or your premier sister or your premier grandmama. I'll tell you, as a premier mama, I love it when my girls call me all the time. It's not a bother. It's uplifting. It's encouraging, because they're putting the work into it that they need to make their business successful. And Tina made a statement on our way down here today that this premier family, and she's the premier in general, is a company that when you succeed, they want to congratulate you and they want you to succeed. It's not like they want you to, like if I was under Michelle and then Michelle just wanted me to start so I could, push Michelle up. That's not what this is about. It's about serving others. It's about building those relationships. And when you build those relationships with people, that's what's going to make a difference. They're going to want to be a part of your team. They're going to want to come to training with you. They're going to want to come to Fund to Shares or come to, your home for dinner or whatever. And most importantly, attend trainings. Those who train remain. I will preach this till I die. I have only missed one training my whole 2 years, and that was only because I was at Disney World with my family. And I was going to actually Skype in, but I didn't, because I was on a ride and I couldn't.
Good job, Shannon. Yeah.
So kudos to you for Skyping in. And Skyping in is the same as being at training, because you're getting all the information. Coming to training is like adding fuel to a fire. How many of you have ever poured gasoline on fire? Mm-hmm. What happens? It explodes and it gets bigger and bigger. We're not trying to set you on fire, don't get me wrong. But when you come to training, you get the motivation you need to carry you on through the next month. You get encouragement, you get recognitions, you build friendships and relationships, and that's what this business is really all about. I was a person that I didn't have very many friends until I started Premier. And now I know that I have friends that I can count on to pray for me. If I just need somebody to talk to, Lacey is my Premier mom, and I can't tell you the number of times I have called her crying on the phone. I don't have any bookings on my calendar. Well, what do you need to do? I need to get on the phone. Well, why are you on the phone with me? Because I'm in my pity party. But call your mom anyway. Sometimes you just need a swift kick in the butt, and sometimes you just need to be patted on the back. To get you to where you need to be. But your Premier mom, if she's built that relationship with you, she's going to know whether you need a kick in the butt or whether you need that gentle pat on the back. If you stay in touch with her.
Yeah.
And number 6, get on the phone. And I am one, I hate talking on the telephone. That was never something my parents could ground me from as a teenager, was talking on the phone, because I didn't talk on the phone. I hated it. I still hate it to this day. The only people I love talking to on the phone really is my mom and my sister, and then now I'm living with my mom, so I don't do that. So I'm hardly ever on the phone. This should be, and getting on the phone should be part of your weekly goal. Make a certain number of phone calls each day. This keeps you working your business each day. The number of phone calls is up to you. Just be smart about it, specific. So if you want to start out with 2 phone calls every day, or 1. Anything other than nothing. You want to, if you have a show, then do your customer care calls and say, "Hey Susie, this is April. I met you at Sheila's party Tuesday night, and I just wanted to say thank you for coming out and showing your support for her. And if you need anything or have any questions, just let me know. Your jewelry should be in about 2 weeks, and I'll get in contact with you later. Thanks, bye." Elizabeth Draper calls those popcorn calls. You want them quick, short, and sweet. Within your 2 weeks, your jewelry's in. Make sure you contact Sheila to pick up your jewelry, because I've heard horror stories of these hostesses that hold on to jewelry for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. And we don't need, makes us as jewelry ladies look bad, and it makes Premier look bad, when we really have no control over it. And each time that you make contact with your customers and your hostesses, you bridge the gap. There's like they start out on a low number of like 1 or 2, and then you call them with your saying, hey, it's nice to meet you, thanks for coming out. They come up to a 4, and then you call them back and say, hey, Shayla's got your jewelry, make sure you get in contact with her and pick it up. And then now she's up to a 7, and she's like, hey, I'm beginning to think this jewelry lady thing might be for me. And so she's already at a 7 because she likes you. If you're not going to sign up with someone unless you like her personality, you like her business ethic, or something like that. So build those relationships, and then those customer care calls can help bridge the gap. Vendor events are a great way to get new contacts and get into new circles of people. That's what started my business off last year. I did a vendor event, and I called everybody, and I had booked several shows, none of them kept, and I called them all again, and finally got one booking that held, and that booking is what started off my year last year. Wear your jewelry everywhere you go. It's free advertisement. I walk through Walmart all the time, and Tina was telling me right after she started Premier, she wore a different ensemble of jewelry every day, and she would get compliments. Oh, I love your bracelet. Oh, I love your necklace. Oh, I love your earrings. You know, typically women do love jewelry. You know, they may not wear jewelry all the time. I had 1 ring, 1 bracelet, 1 earring, 1 necklace, and a watch. That's all I ever. Now look at me. And I've got to have 2 necklaces on. I've always got big earrings. I've got a bunch of bracelets on, and it's free advertisement. And you're always going to have somebody. And I've had men compliment, wow, your neck. I was going through the airport to Raleigh last year, and I had on the runway necklace as a belt, or my first year in Premier. Had the runway necklace on, and he's like, oh, I love that belt. That's so cute. And it was a guy at the TSA counter. And I said, well, actually, it's a necklace. And he said, what? And I said, yes, it's a necklace. And it was a man. So you never know who's gonna compliment your jewelry. He may have a wife that needs Premier. He may have a wife that's stuck at home raising 3 kids, and she needs an out. She needs some girl time. She needs some fellowship. So hand out that business card. Remember, you are Premier, so represent yourself well and represent Premier well. Like I said, you may not have on all your makeup and all your eyelashes or whatever, but throw on a big pair of earrings and throw on a necklace. Have your necklace laying. You're not really supposed to, but have your 1 necklace that you can just throw on that matches anything and run out the door if you got to run out real quick. And the service and building relationships is what it's all about. I think one. Any questions? I have 1 show left on my calendar this year, right now. But you better believe at that show, I'm going to be asking every one of those ladies, do you want to have a fun girls' night out? Let me come and bring my jewelry? And every one of them's going to say yes. Because I want to get every one of them on my calendar.
Yes, have high expectations.
Yes.
Good job. Thank you. Awesome job. Okay, so please move over. Will you bring your chair? Thank you. So you don't have to take this chair, right? Sorry, it's okay. Okay. Got it? Yeah, I got it.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
I got a yes.
You got another yes? My voice like by the second.
See what happens when you just ask?
That's right. This was from yours earlier too. Thank you, April. Did she not do a great job? Yes. Great tangible tips to take home today.
Awesome.
Okay, so you know how April pulled out her calendar and she kind of sort of walked through with you about, how you're going to ask them and how you're going to hone them down, and you don't want to give them a blank calendar. And so Michelle and I are going to model for you what that would look like, and then we're going to make you practice, okay? And we're running out of time, so we're going to have to be fast because we have still a lot left.
Because I talked.
Hey, you're good, girl. You're good. Okay, so I want to pass out my gift survey. Most of you probably have seen this. Some of you might even use it. Most of you probably do. And I use my gift survey to walk people through getting a booking on my calendar. Okay, so if you've got one show left on your calendar, don't just wait for the show. So she knows, because she's told you got to get on the phone. So she's probably going to start doing that as well. But you want to get shows at that one show that you have on your calendar, because you want your business to continue on. So I want you to take one and pass it around. I think I brought. Everybody.
I have it.
Oh yeah. You do? Okay.
I use that.
Good. Okay, let me go get one more. Make sure Michelle
Turn it, yeah.
did a little bit more. Yeah. Let me get you. Okay. All right. So when somebody comes up to you at checkout, first thing you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure to have a separate checkout station. Okay, I know that can be really hard, because sometimes they might have an itty bitty house, and so the only place that you can check out is in the living room. But what is great is if you can maybe grab a checkout station that is in the kitchen or a little bit away, not too far away, but a place where you can actually have a conversation with that customer that's coming up and bringing you her order form. So that way you can have the conversation that we're going to have, so that you can get a booking on your calendar, okay? So Michelle's going to come up to me, and she's going to say, hey, my order's ready, and I'm ready to check out. And I'll say, okay, Michelle, come on over here to in the kitchen. I'll total up your order. So Michelle is going to hand me her order form, and the second that she hands me her order form, I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to find her guest survey. I'm going to pull her guest survey up to the top. Okay, so I'm not even going to look at her order form. I'm going to go straight to her guest survey that she's already filled out during the jewelry show. And I'm going to say, hey, Michelle, I see on this, actually I'm going to do both for you, because the first thing I do is go to question number 2 before I even go to question number 1, okay? So the first place I'm going to go is I'm going to say, hey, Michelle, I see that you checked a 5. You circled a 5 on your survey. Well, I do it for 5 or more. I do tell them don't check a 5, but she did. This is a real girl. Michelle, I see you circled a 5 on your survey. You're not supposed to do that. That's cheating. That is cheating. But about being just a little bit curious about the jewelry business, would you be interested in just grabbing a cup of coffee and letting me tell you more about it?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Well, okay, today is April the 21st, and are you free more like in the daytime or at night?
probably.
Okay, that's great. Me too. How about Wednesday? Could you do Wednesday morning?
Sure.
Okay. What if we grabbed coffee Wednesday at like 9:30? Would that work for you?
I think so.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna write you down for Wednesday at 9:30. And how about the Starbucks on Montclair? Would that be good for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna write that down. Can you give me your phone number? Okay. All right. Great. Okay. And I'll just text you Tuesday night, tomorrow night, and just remind you. But I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. Why don't you get out your phone and can you just plug me in your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so do you see how that conversation went through, though? Now, of course, like, we're talking about bookings in a second, but I wanted you to see how I get an OP on the calendar, too, because they really go hand in hand. I don't want you to be out of balance and just be only so focused on bookings or only so focused on sponsoring. I want you to focus on both of those. So that conversation can only happen if you have a guest survey where she has circled a number. I do tell everybody they can't circle a 5, but that's cheating. They have to have an opinion. So they're either above a 5 or below a 5. Typically, everybody laughs at me. Typically, nobody circles a 5. But at my show on Thursday, somebody really did. Okay. Okay, then as soon as I do that, and she might say, if she's circled beneath a 5, I really don't ask that question. Or she might say, no, I don't want to grab coffee, but typically that never happens. Okay, or if you can't find a date, like I was at a party with Brooke and we couldn't find a date that would work for our schedules to do an OP, so I just invited her to Fun Show. So that's a great option too. Okay, then I'm still not looking at her order form. I still have not even looked at it. I'm gonna go right to question number 1. Okay, so I also see on your survey you checked maybe later for wanting to have a jewelry party. If you decided that you wanted to do something, what month would be the best month for you?
Probably not going to happen until the fall sometime.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah, because you're like about to have a
August.
baby. Yeah, okay, Yeah, I know, that's kind of, well, my calendar fills up really quick, so I'm just going to go ahead and just pull August, just so we can kind of get a little view. Okay, I like to do shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Would that be a good day of the week for you?
Tuesday's probably better than Thursday.
Okay, well, I only actually have 2 Tuesdays available in August. So what if you say we just go ahead and tentatively pick one, and then if you go home and you realize that's not going to work for you, then you can just call me and we'll change it. And if not, then if I don't hear from you, I'll know that that's a good day for you. Do you think like August the 5th or August the 26th would be a better day for you?
That last one.
The 26th? Okay. And if you'll look, this is what my calendar looks like. So just like, I mean, this is in August. I already have it all ready to go for the whole rest of the year, because people are going to say, I don't want to do anything till October. But you're like, oh, really? That's okay. We're going to book you in October anyways, because I'm not going to wait to call you in October. I'm going to book you right now for October. So I'm going to just go ahead and say, okay, Michelle Leach, August the 26th. I like to do shows at 6:30 or 7. What time would be better for you? 6:30. Okay. And tell me your phone number one more time. And so I'm going to write down her name, the time of her party, and her phone number right there in my calendar, because I really do take this with me everywhere I go. So should I need to make a follow-up phone call, I don't have to be like, okay, I got to go get my hostess notebook, I got to find her phone number, I can't find it. No, now it's just all in my calendar, so I have everything that I need right then and there, okay? So once I've done that, and I've got her on the calendar, then I'm going to pull out her order form. Oh, I see you ordered the Ritz necklace. Oh my gosh, one of my favorites. You're going to just love that. Total it all up. Put it in cash, credit, or check. Okay? Do most of y'all do that at your show? Some, yes, some, no. Okay. All right, so we're going to just take, Shannon, we're going to just take a couple minutes, and I want you to practice, okay? So you're probably sitting next to somebody. You all have a guest survey in your hand, so you can walk them through it, okay? I'm going to give you, at the most, I'm going to give you 10 minutes, if not less than
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Oh.
Okay.
Strict.
So,
5 minutes.
yeah, but they have to each do it.
Okay.
They have to each do it.
7
Yeah. Okay, so get a partner.
You need a thingy.
Does everybody have one of these?
Sorry. Alright, I'll
Yes,
be your
even if you don't do Premier yet. Kiddos, bring it on back. Was that helpful for you? Yes.
Yes.
Good. Good. Do we need to do that like every month? Do y'all need like some role modeling every month?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll try to squeeze that in, because I do think that that's so helpful, because you can role play with yourself in the mirror only so much, and the pillows don't talk back. So it's really helpful to get some feedback from other people. So good. I'm glad that was helpful for you. Well, we're gonna wrap up the night with Michelle's gonna just share one quick little tip with you that she just had some of her hostesses do, and then she's going to do our devotion, and then we will pray, and we will send you all on your merry way. Okay? That rhyme, that didn't even make sense. All right, come on up,
We
Michelle.
have a gift and some men's announcements.
Oh, gift and men's announcements. Okay.
Okay, well, I just wanted to share with y'all, I was supposed to talk to y'all about just not your typical home show thing, kind of little training. So you'll just have to come next month to hear.
That's right. Y'all are all going to be here next month for
All
that.
my ideas that are not all
Put your
my
head on
ideas.
that thing.
But I did want to share, just because Mother's Day is around the corner, I was really trying really hard to think of how I could still do my business and have a new baby and everything the first few weeks when I can't get out of the house or whatever. So I decided to, especially because Mother's Day is around the corner, kind of ride on that wagon. And so I know y'all, how many of you have heard of the turkey trot during Thanksgiving? Okay, this is kind of the same concept, and Danielle helped me kind of think of it. But this is, basically what this is a catalog show. And I have a lot of friends and family that are out of town. And so I really just wanted to like focus on them, or customers that have moved or whatever, to give them a chance to earn some free jewelry by doing a catalog show. That way I could, do something like while I'm in the hospital or something, like have something going on just to bring in some retail and stuff like that. So this is the little invitation that I created, and I can send this to y'all. And I actually printed these out. I printed out for y'all like the wording so you could have it if you wanted to do something like this. And then on the back is like a little attachment letter that you could either mail out or put in like as an attachment with your email or whatever. But it's basically just if you it's like has instructions for how you enter the Mother's Day Marathon. There's a specific date that you let your Joy Lady know by this date that you want to participate in the Mother's Day Marathon, and then all it requires is for the hostess to like send out, forward out, email, text, or whatever, friends or family that might be interested in purchasing some jewelry for Mother's Day, offering like an incentive for everyone that participates. Like I said, a special thanks to you for supporting me during my maternity leave. Every catalog show hostess will have her name in a drawing to win a $50 gift card. So if you participate in it, then there's something for you for doing that. And then also like you could do like and tell your friends and family that I'm running this Mother's Day special and all that kind of stuff, just to get the jewelry, get some extra retail. So I was just going to give y'all each one of those so y'all could have that in case y'all are interested in doing something like that. But I have had some good response. The only thing that I would say is that you can't just rely on a mass email or a mass text and then be done. Like, you really have to be intentional to follow up. Like, hey, just wanted to make sure that you got the email that I sent out about the contest that I'm holding for the Mother's Day Marathon. Because people, especially nowadays, like, they, how fast we go through emails and just forget about it, or like, oh, I'll read that later and then never get to it. So just make sure that you follow up and be intentional with that. So, and I try to like make them personal too. Like I sent specific people like, hey, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're, just say specific things to them so that they can feel like you're not just like, sending a mass email kind of thing. Does that make sense? Just try to make it keep it personal. But real quickly, I did want to share with y'all just a quick devotion, and I love what April talked about, and just even just hearing what her story and her background and how she's kept faith in the Lord and all that. I did want to. This is a little devotion I read today called "The Best Worst Thing," and it's in the book called "Craving God" by Lisa Turkhurst, and it's really good. But it comes from the verse, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, and so we should all know that verse. But basically the thought is, and this is the actual thought for the day, and I just thought this was really cool, that God can take our worst and add His best. So what we think is bad can actually be turned for good, and He works through all of that. We just have to make the choice to stay with Him and keep following Him through it all. And so she brings up 3 examples of stories in the Bible. Like, I know y'all know the story about Jesus when He was in the boat with His disciples and the storm came. And of course, His disciples were like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen. Why are you sleeping? And then Jesus calms the storm. Do you remember that? And so what did that teach them? It taught them like a huge concept to trust in Him. And so what was really a really bad thing or the worst thing became the best thing for them and a best lesson learned for them. And then also when the apostles were being arrested and they were thrown in jail, the worst thing that you can imagine. But the angel of the Lord opens the doors, and the chains fell off and actually became the best thing. And so then the gospel was able to be spread and all of that, and they have confidence that God was going to take care of them and provide for them. So, and then of course lastly, and since we just celebrated Easter, Jesus being crucified, the absolute worst thing, became the best thing, because now He rose from the dead 3 days later, and we have forgiveness of our sins, and we can live in eternity forever. And so I just thought that was just a good reminder, especially when we think about our premier business. We might think about, oh my gosh, it's the worst thing ever, like I have all these cancellations, but you just never know what blessings that God has in store if you just keep following Him and keep trusting that His plan really is the best. But I did want to leave y'all with this, and then we can pray. I don't understand, this is what she says, why we have to go through cruddy stuff. We live in a broken world full of broken people. But isn't it comforting to know that God is never broken? He isn't ever caught off guard, taken by surprise, or shocked by what happens next. He can take our worst and add his best. We just have to make the choice to stay with him and keep following him through it all.
Great.
Michelle.
Thank you.
All right. While I'm talking, write your name on your tickets and
If you
bring
don't
them
have
up.
one, I'm just going to give everybody an extra one.
I don't have one. Oh, okay.
I'll just
Everybody.
give
Oh.
Yeah, that way everyone's in the drawing. In
Yes.
case I didn't give you one over there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go get my other one.
All right. So, as most of you know, I focus on the guys in Premier, whether that's your boyfriend, husband, or
Everyone's married.
really, really committed brother.
Committed brother.
I write an email twice a month to the guys in Premier. Right now, of our a little bit over 100 people, I write to about 90 guys. Get that email. And I've had some amazing responses recently from guys I didn't even know were reading it, who have really come out of the woodwork and said it's meant a lot to them. So that goes out twice a month. I just sent one. And so if you've never given me your man's info, I'm going to pass this around. I have most of you. I was just thinking, I think I have most of them. So we can pass around, and April, you're welcome to put them on there too. That'll go out twice a month. So that's something that is how I can contribute. So two other things. We have a guys' night once every 2 or 3 months. The next one's coming up, so write this date down. You can tell your man about it. It is May 9th at 7 p.m. at Buffalo Wild Wings on 280.
That's Buster's birthday.
It's Buster's birthday party. Last time we had 10 guys come out, and we ate a lot of wings. I buy the wings and the drinks, and it's trivia night at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a lot of fun. Anyone's invited. Men. Any men are invited. No ladies allowed. So 7 p.m. You can get them to send me an email or text or whatever. But if I have their info, they'll get that once or twice more, and then they can respond to me. The other thing is I'm doing a nationwide men's conference call on May 4th. And they can call into that to listen. It'll also be available for playback after. But let me give you the number so you can tell them about it if you want them to hear what I have to say. It isn't much, but I have something to say.
It always is.
So on May 4th at 8 p.m. Sorry.
It always is a lot.
May 4th at 8 p.m. Eastern, so 7 p.m. Central where we're at. It's the phone number is 218-862-1300, and that's a general conference call line, and then the code they'll have to put in is 807960. So this past month, I was supposed to speak in April, but Andy Horner bumped me off the call. He decided to do his conference call in April, so I said, okay, Andy, you can do that. And so I'm in May, so May 4th. Okay, and so in honor of all of that, I found a $25 Lowe's gift card, which is going to be our drawing tonight. And you can decide whether you want to buy something for your Premier business or really encourage your husband / boyfriend / man in your life.
They're all married.
Look at what Premier is doing for you.
Oh, Nicole, okay.
You got a $25 gift card tonight just because I went to training. Isn't that good? That's good? Okay. Alright, so has everybody written their name, put it in the basket, or no? Let's do it.
Oh, make sure the basket's empty.
It was.
Okay.
Brooke has 17 of these.
Did somebody get Shannon's?
Oh, Shannon, let me
Shannon, how many did Shannon get
Hold
tonight?
on. Shannon's got some right here. Hold on. Let me write Shannon's name.
I mean, there are girl things at Lowe's, but come on,
He can buy that wood floor to go at £90.
Exactly. It's barbecue season, keep that in mind. Any man likes tools.
Oh, quick start. Hold on. Oh, yeah, you were quick start. Hold on. I got to get one more for Shannon. Shannon wants to win.
Okay. Alright. I wish Jonathan was in here
I know. Where did he
so he
go?
could pick, but okay.
Maybe he's getting a show for me.
Yeah. Actually, Jonathan was in the back texting.
Oh, there it
Good. It didn't hurt as bad as it sounded. Alright, person who wins tonight is...
Is it Shannon?
No. Holly! $25 $5 loads get
Don't be
ours.
excited.
All right.
That's awesome.
Hey, it's going to buy our vegetables for our garden I planted.
Yay!
There you go. Okay.
That's awesome.
Questions? No? Okay.
Okay, we're going to do some prayer requests. But before, the guys' night prompted me to remember to tell you that we have a girls' night coming up. Are y'all excited about that?
Yes.
It was in an email. It's been, I've emailed y'all about it before, so you should hopefully have it on your calendar. It's May the 12th. It is Joan Horner's birthday. And so I just think it's really neat that I had already planned that before I really even realized it was Joan's birthday. So in honor of Joan, what we're going to be doing, we are going to go and eat dinner at the Irondale Cafe. Have y'all eaten dinner there before? It's amazing. It's a place where they filmed fried green tomatoes. And they have amazing fried green tomatoes, amazing. So you're going to want to order those for sure. And right next door to Irondale Cafe is a place called the Paint Station. And they are going to let us come in and they're going to provide us with wooden planks. And they're going to help us make a Subway piece of art on a wooden piece of art. So I'm super pumped about that. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be $25 for us to come in and paint that wooden piece of art. That'll provide the stencils, the paint, the piece of wood, for us to use all of their materials and their space. And then lunch at the Irondale Cafe, I don't know, it's probably $8. It's not a very expensive place. It's kind of like a buffet type place that's really, really yummy food. So I'm not sure the exact time that we're going to meet out there, but I'm thinking around 6 o'clock on that Monday, so that'll give us enough time to eat and paint and all that good stuff. But I definitely need an RSVP because the Paint Station needs to know exactly how many people will have in attendance. So if you know for sure, you can just tell me right now before you leave, hey, I'm definitely going to be there. I can write you down. Or if you could just send me an email or a text message just to say, and I will send a reminder email out to everybody in the group so that they know about it as well. Okay? But does that sound like fun?
Yes, it does. That'll be so much fun.
Alright, I'm pumped about it. Okay, prayer requests, and I'll try not to keep you here any longer. Anybody have any prayer requests? I can pray. We can.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much just for this group of ladies and for Premier, that Premier is the whole reason that we get to gather together, ultimately really to glorify you and just to continue to grow in the soil that you have us in. And thank you that you do have us involved in Premier. It's such an amazing company that has been so anointed by you, Lord, and we just really do infuse just everything, everything that you are, you infuse into what Premier is. And we just thank you for being able to be a part of that. And I just lift each of these prayer requests up to you, and even the ones that were not vocalized. Lord, we thank you that you know all of our needs. And I just pray that you tend to each and every one of these ladies, and anything that is pressing on their hearts or anything going on in their lives or the lives of people around them, Lord, that they know. We thank you that you do provide for every single need. We thank you that you are a God of healing, and we are especially reminded of that, Lord, as we celebrated Easter, just like Michelle was mentioning, that Jesus dying on the cross, it did cover not only our sins, but Lord, you say by his stripes, Lord, that we are healed. And so we do thank you for that, Lord, and healing in every way, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I just receive that for myself, and I just speak that over every single lady here, every single girl here, and even the ones who are not here, God. I just pray and claim that healing just over them, their lives, the people around them. And so again, just thank you for this group of ladies, and we thank you for all that you are, Lord, and we just pray your covering over our businesses and our lives and our families. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Real quick, do y'all all know about the Rockstar white jackets? Can you go get yours? Okay. Not to make you just run around. We all have these little white denim jackets that we've gotten embroidered. Actually, it was Tina's idea. like 2-3 years ago.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
They came
Look
for
what
two-
happened with it.
I know.
And I brought it here.
You did.
We're like a little, biker gang or something.
We are. So we wear them with everything. We wear them with everything. They're just little. Mine's from Old Navy. They have them. You could just probably find one anywhere. I mean,
JCPenney's
Gap
has
hat 'em.
JCPenney, Gap had them, Kohl's. Yeah. And so we get them all embroidered in the same place in Gainesville, so they all look the same. So what would be really great is that I'm going to Gainesville on Thursday. I know I'm not giving you much notice, but Thursday after lunch we'll be getting in the car and we'll be driving down to Gainesville. And so it would be awesome if you could get me your white jacket by Thursday, if at all possible. And then I can just take it down to Gainesville and drop it off. It's $10 for it to get embroidered. So if you'll just put, $10 in the pocket and put your name on the tag, I'll take it down. If you're not able to get one by Thursday, it'll be your responsibility to put it in the mail and send it to Jonathan and Lacey Bassford so they can get it embroidered for you. So it's any kind of white denim jacket, and this is the little monogram on the back that says Rockstars. I think you actually drew it. I mean, we drew it and sent it off to the
And went to the embroidery place and sketched out what looked good. So.
yeah. So
And the size of it fits everything from the super extra. What is yours? 4 extra small.
it's just a
All the way up to chrono size.
So we wear them over everything. So you might have seen on the Rockstar Facebook page that the colors, we all wear the same colors every single day at Rally. So Thursday is metallic, like silver and gold. I don't know where that came up with, but Vicki Saller is our executive director, so we sit in the Vicki Saller ED section, and all the sections have one color on Thursday. So our whole section will be in that color. And then Friday is yellow, so I wore this for you, so this is probably what I'll wear on Friday. And
it
then
looks great with the white jacket.
with my white jacket, you'll wear everything.
And you'll need it because it's freezing
cold in there. Yep. And then Saturday is always Patriotic Day. They do this big patriotic theme, so red, white, and blue, whatever you want to do. I typically wear a sundress all 3 days. And you will not change. I think somebody asked me, do I need something to wear at night? No, you'll be from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. all in Rally stuff. It'll be a lot of fun, but you won't need to change because you'll be at Rally all day long. But you'll enjoy it and you'll have a lot of fun. So, anyways, go and get one of these. Even if you don't know if you're going to be able to attend Rally, still go get one anyways. We wear them to regional Rally. We could even wear them to Girls Night Out if we wanted to, and all look the same. Just saying. But they're a lot of fun, and they really keep us unified. And people know who we are, kind of like what April said. I mean, people on the cruise, they actually said, "Oh, are you one of those white jacket girls?"
The first year, people were like, "Where did you guys get those jackets?"
Yeah.
We're the Rockstars.
Yeah. So it's.
And last year there were 50 girls there, a majority having white jackets.
Yeah.
And this year
This
there'll
year.
probably be 100.
More
And
than
the majority will have white jackets.
We probably had a little more than 50 last year. Yeah.
There were 16 guys, I think 50 girls. There were Rockstars.
So, anyways, yes. So, if you can get me your white jacket by Thursday, that would be superb. If not, you have to mail it to Florida. Okay. Got it? All right. Okay. I feel like we need to, arms it and, one. All right. Thank y'all for being here tonight.